So what is one thing of your like day-to-day work that people would be kind of shocked knowing, like that some activity that you do?
Because, I feel like your morning routines are like how you start the day. So, I mean, pretty much I get up at 4:30, sometimes 4 a.m., sometimes even 3:30 a.m. because that's like where my brain is at its peakest time. Like I have all my creative ideas.
What made you really jump from having a job for yourself to creating systems, and how do you implement that? Like how many people do you have at your company now?
So now I'm pretty virtual, but before, like I'm more lean now than I ever have been, because one thing I learned, more is not always better, is actually having a more leaner team.
Welcome back to another episode of Simple Chat. I'm your host, the CEO and founder of Simple Lending Financial, Janine Casio. And today we have a guest with us, Andrea Cruz. Andrea, do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Of course. And first I want to say thank you, Janine, for having me here. It's a pleasure. For those who don't know me, my name is Andrea Cruz. I am married with 4 kids, and we have a real estate virtual operation that we run. And we also do a coaching program that we offer.
Love that. Working mom.
Yes.
What I aspire to be, and obviously have one on the way. So love it. How did you get into real estate industry?
So it started off, I was a hairdresser before I got into real estate, and it started off with more me wanting to invest my money, right? Because I made pretty good money as a hairdresser, and I had all this money in my savings. So I was just like, what can I do? What can I get into? So I didn't know anything about real estate, but I was already curious to see what could I possibly invest my money in. And I had a friend of mine who had told me like, hey, because, I had mentioned to him that I wanted to invest. And so he told me about like flipping and stuff. Like, well, you could let me borrow the funds and I can flip this home, and then, you'll get this much back. And that was my first time that I heard of that. So I was like, interesting.
So really you were the lender.
Yeah, at the time, right? But I didn't know about it. So I was like, well, just tell me about it.
Yeah.
But what had happened was he really opened that curiosity in me. I went home, I didn't do anything, but I did come across the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because it was about investing, right? So I said, let me see like what this is all about, right? So once I read that book, I realized that I was in the wrong quadrant, meaning that my job owned me. So I said, hey, I need to start, buying properties, getting into that. So that's how that started,
Very cool. So what is one thing of your like day-to-day work that people would be kind of shocked knowing, like that some activity that you do?
Well, I have a pretty much already like a custom routine that I've built, and I learned to build over the years, because, I feel like your morning routines are like how you start the day. So, I mean, pretty much I get up at 4:30, sometimes 4 a.m., sometimes even 3:30 a.m., because that's like where my brain is at its peakest time. Like I have all my creative ideas, and also it's my time. I go work out, but it's also like I like to wake up and do like my morning prayer, like kind of sit alone and gather my thoughts together, and then go work out, then come home, make breakfast for my kids, then go get in the shower. Like, so I have everything very routine-ish, because before I was always running around like crazy, like a chicken with no head. And I realized like it was just me, creating all that chaos because I never organized my mind. So that taught me like, okay, have your routine in the mornings, and I'm at peace. So it helps me being at peace, helps everyone around me be at peace. So you're gonna need that once you have kids, because it's hard to stay at peace with kids. But one thing that I learned is just, work on you first before you start pouring into others.
Yeah. So it seems like you did a lot of personal development, read books, and maybe mentors and things like that. Is there any other piece of advice you'd give people wanting to be in your shoes? Yeah,
mentors is what has led me here. I hired my first mentor. I probably paid over $100,000 in just education, but it's been totally worth it, because one thing it is, when you start, when I started real estate is one thing, right? But being an operator is another. If you're good in real estate, that's just one part of your job, but that's not your whole entire job. So as I was going in my journey, I learned that I had to hire different mentors for different things. But it wasn't until I hired a mentor, and this was the last mentor I had hired, was to master my emotions, that I learned that I should have done that first, because the other stuff, like once you learn to master yourself and your emotions, everything else just kind of comes and falls in hand. But yeah, I hired different mentors, and that's how I learned to do so many different things, you know, not just real estate, but how to do systems and processes, how to do marketing, how to master my emotions, how to deal with my employees, learn to teach them how, like when I meet someone, I can pretty much read them when the first 2 minutes that I'm there with them. So that has taught me, like, okay, who do you want around your circle? Who do you want in your business? Because all that matters. You got to make sure you have the right people in your right seat. So I had to learn all that the hard way, and I had to pay people to teach me. So that has been a great thing for me, because like I said, when you start a business, it's not just one thing that you need to know. You need to know how to be an operator.
Yeah, I love that. So what made you really jump from having a job for yourself to creating systems, and how do you implement that? Like, how many people do you have at your company now?
So now I'm pretty virtual, but before, like, I'm more lean now than I ever have been, because one thing I learned more, it's not always better, is actually having a more leaner team, and investing more on better softwares.
Nice.
And that's really, because right now, like with AI and stuff, it's really taking over where you don't need a lot of the VAs anymore. Like before, I used to have about 12 cold callers, right? And that's just that. And then I had someone helping me run them. And then I had agents inside my office that I was paying salary. So I was really, my profit was very low because I was expending too much. So now I'm more leaner. I'm virtual. The only actually person that's with me is my assistant. She's my CEO, and everybody is pretty much virtual. We have like 5 people, one that helps us with marketing, but they all help us with the back end stuff, right? Help us keep up with the KPIs, tell us what our business is doing, and from there we can kind of have like, okay, we know what we need to do. Here we have agents, like acquisition agents, but they're pretty much kind of self-employed, right? So it's kind of like a real estate broker, but it's more acquisitions. They only get paid on commission. I don't pay them salary. That's another thing I learned, right? Because I was paying them salary, but real estate, no one gets a salary. It's all commission. So I learned to kind of tweak and be more leaner in my business now than I was, and it's better now than it has been with having so many people.
Love that. So how can people find you, and like, if they want you to do their marketing and connect with you? So on Instagram, I'm under Andrea Buys Houses, but also Operation X. That's the name of my business. And basically what we do in Operation X, we do a lot of things, but it's mainly bringing value to people. We do events, we do trainings, and we also do like coaching and market. That's part of our coaching is marketing, because marketing and sales is 2 of the departments that I tell people that are very, very important in your business. So I help a lot of my students in the marketing part of that. So we also offer those services, like not the coaching, but just the marketing. Very cool. Do you have any mantras or guiding principles that you kind of lean on when times get tough? Because I know being a CEO and owning your own company, there's tons of obstacles you have to go through. So just curious of any like mindset tricks you have to overcome those. Yeah, learn to trust God, learn to give your problems to Him, because at the end of the day, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And if whatever you're going through, you're either going to learn something from it, it's developing you, it's teaching you something. So don't take it as an obstacle. Take it like, hey, what can I learn from here? And understand that everything you go through is part of your journey. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to shape you. So my thing is, whenever I have any challenges that come at me, I'm just like, hey, what can I learn from this? What could I have done better before? And so that's pretty much
my mantra is life is always teaching you something. So what is it? So that's pretty much, and then just trust God,
Love it.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Simple Chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video for more.